What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get Sausage Biscuit. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Four producers. There you go, baby.
Hey, boys and girls, good evening. Welcome to KSR Christopher James. I am Christopher James, and you're not. That's okay, though, man. Everybody can't be me, and, you know, who wants to be me? And I don't want to be anybody else. I just want to be me. I want you guys to be you and me to be me, and everybody gets along. Anyway, well, guys, good to see you. Tonight we have our UFC 259 preview show. Joining me in just a few moments is going to be UFC welterweight Sasha Palatnikov. He has a fight coming up just a short few weeks away, and he's going to be taking on Impa Kasanganay. Impa came into the UFC with a lot of hype around him, did good on the Contender Series, got to the octagon. Many people remember Impa because he was on the receiving end of the Joaquin Buckley kick, where he caught the kick and kicked him in the face and boom, dropped him out. But that is not the representation of the body of work that Impa does bring. So it's going to be a really good fight. I was actually shocked because Impa's been fighting at 185, so he's coming down to 170. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs at the welterweight level, having to cut more weight down. We'll definitely be seeing a different version of Impa, so I'm pretty excited about it. And we're going to see Sasha continue to improve. His last fight, he went out there and had a great performance. I spoke to him after that fight. I found out that this guy is not just a great fighter. He's highly intelligent. He knows the fight game. And I tell him this, I just told him a minute ago, he's easy on the eyes, boys and girls. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a good-looking dude that knows about talking about fights, like myself. You know what I'm saying? I got to, hang out with other good-looking people. So that's what I do. But, so we're going to preview 259. We're going to talk to him about his fight. And thanks for tuning in tonight. Also, don't want to forget to remind you, this Tuesday night, KSR Christopher James will be back. And we are going to be talking with Tyler Diamond from the Ultimate Fighter. Never actually got into the UFC. And that's all right. He was a stud, and PFL picked him up, so he's in the $1 Million tournament. We're going to talk with him this Tuesday night about that. Also about becoming a new father. He's got a new little baby so adorable. And I love seeing these fighters, male and female, raising their families up and, living life like normal people. But they have these crazy jobs that they go out and beat the shit out of people. So, it's cool. The dynamic, the dichotomy, it's all nuts. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by our friends at Just Heart Apparel and Just Heart Apparel East Coast. My buddy Andrew Sams. Appreciate what you do for me and for all the other people in the fight game that you help out. But right now, let's bring him into the show. He's sitting there. He's chilling out at his home in Vegas, and he is ready to come join us. We're going to welcome him into the show for the second time. Boys and girls, I wish you were here like in a studio audience and give him a round of applause. So everybody that's watching, give him a round of applause for my man, Sasha Palatnikov, joining us on the show. Sasha, how are you, brother?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, what's that over your shoulder there? Is that like is that a chair? That
oh,
shoulder.
Right here?
Yeah, that's
right here. Yeah, it's like a gaming chair.
Thing.
Yeah, it's a gaming chair. It's a gaming chair.
Is that like a gaming chair?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought so. I couldn't tell if it was a gaming chair or some kind of like weird, unique surfboard with pads on it for rookies like me that would fall on our asses.
Nah, it's just a gaming chair. When I put in those Call of Duty hours, gotta sit.
You got to put in those COD hours, man. That's what everybody says, man. I'm not a big gamer guy, but I understand the love of it by a lot of guys and a lot of people in the UFC. A lot of fighters are in the gaming world, and they're out there on Twitch. They're playing games. I can't sit there and watch you play a video game online. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, but whatever. It's not up. It's not my world.
That's all right. I prefer you watching me fight anyway.
I'd rather watch you fight than play a video game, man. Although
exactly.
I have seen a few of my friends play video games, and the best part about it is they lose their shit. The fuck, you stupid little cocksucker! And then they find out they're yelling at like a 12-year-old who's kicking their ass in the game, and then the 12-year-old kids talk some mad shit online, dude. So I realized that since gaming became popular and broadcasting on Twitch and all that stuff, I realized that kids are training to have smack talk.
Oh,
They're training right now with the smack talk. My man Sherrard Devontae Blackridge tuning in to watch the show. My buddy Doug, yeah, look, he's right there. Let's see. Sherrard.
My
He
man.
still owes me a theme song for my show. He's supposed to beatbox a theme song for my show, and then I'm going to rap over it like an old Jewish white guy that I am. But we'll get to
Wow.
that one day. Anyway, I wanted to know first, how have you been doing since the last time we spoke? I know you took a trip. You know, you were overseas for a little while with, I
Yep.
believe, your lady. And
Yep.
so tell us about that little trip around the world there, man, because it looked like you had a good time.
Yeah, after the fight, I'd originally planned to go and see my fiance previous to the fight. I didn't even know the fight was coming, but they canceled that due to the restrictions with COVID and the increased amount of cases in Europe. So they canceled my flight, and then the next day I got that UFC call up. So it was pretty crazy in that regard, but we were able to apply for a certain kind of visa where we had to prove our relationship in order for France to let me fly in. So fortunately, after the fight, I was able to get a flight and go to France, go to Paris, and see her and spend 2.5 weeks with her and her family over Christmas and the New Year. Even though there wasn't a lot of stuff we could do because they were all on lockdown and stuff like that, but it was good to see her because I haven't seen her in 6 months. So yeah, it was just it was just really good to see each other, and I wish I could bring her home, but we're just still waiting with visa situation right now, and with the world with COVID, everything's on pause. She was supposed to be living right here. She'd probably be in this apartment right now this time last year, but because of COVID, everything's on hold. So unfortunately, we're apart. But at the same time, I think every time that I get this opportunity to compete in the UFC and fight, then I'm going to just go and see her until she'll be here full time.
Yeah, and it's got to suck, dude. I mean, I've done long distance relationships in the past, and I'm talking, where a girl lived, a couple of states away. You could drive over and do all that stuff. But I can't imagine how hard it must be for both of you to, keep your relationship going forward in the direction you want for your future when you're half a world apart. And on top of that, we have all these travel restrictions, so you don't get to go see the person you love the most when you want to. I mean, FaceTime and all that stuff, it definitely helps, so technology advances definitely help the long distance relationship. But man, just gotta suck, bro.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks because it just puts everything on pause. Because we all have the same, my fiance and I, we have the same goals. We want to do things, and it's just all of that is put on pause. Like the same thing remains, same goal, to be together and go forward together. But with all this stuff, it's very frustrating, and it puts a lot of obstacles. But at the same time, I think, as the old saying goes, the more time you spend apart, the bigger your love grows. And I enjoy traveling, and especially with what's going on now, it's kind of like an absolute luxury to be able to given that chance to go to another country, even if I'm not competing or fighting. So, I always enjoy going and seeing her, but I'd much rather her be at home. And I want to see my mom, I want to see my dad. Like, my family's all over the world, so it's like for us to see each other would require me to sit in a hotel for 3 weeks just to go and see them. So. It's difficult in that regard, but I'm just hoping things with patience and time will improve, and things will hopefully get some normalcy to it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Dan Hangman Hooker. After his last fight, he's posting pictures.
Exactly.
He's sitting in a quarantine hotel. His family is outside the fence. And they come see him, and he's got to look at his daughter through a fence. It's almost like being a convict, to some degree.
Yep.
I'm in jail, but I can only see you through the fence, man. And on top of that, for Hooker, taking that brutal loss against Chandler and then having to sit in quarantine, man, when he probably just wants to hug his daughter, just daddy's little baby. So, I mean, my heart goes out to a lot of you guys because the world is different for you guys, especially for the fighters traveling to the States from Europe and over on that side of the world, because they do have quarantine restrictions in effect that they have to deal with, but they're willing to make the sacrifice, one, for themselves, but two, to entertain the world. And the world needs some entertainment right now. So my hat's off to all the fighters out there that are going through all these crazy travel restrictions and time and can't see their families. So it's fucking nuts. So you've got a fight coming up. I talked about in the beginning of in the opening of this segment, where you're going to be taking on my dude Impa Kasanganay. A guy I know very well. Like I said, he fought for us at Highland Fights on Fight Pass a couple of times. Then he went to the Contender Series. He's been in the UFC now for a short time. Couple fights in, he got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley. I mean, God, that knockout, I love a dude, man, but man, it was so hard to watch that. Even if he wasn't somebody I knew, just watching that knockout was crazy.
Yeah.
Before we talk about you and him fighting, man, when you saw that fight, give me your thoughts on that knockout, because I mean, everybody deemed it the knockout of the century. And you know what? It really, all the great knockouts we've seen, that one really is right up there with probably one of the craziest, most insane ones I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, that knockout was spectacular. You see it all the time. Fighters catch kicks, and not too much will come from it, or they'll end up in the takedown. But for him to, be as athletic, Buckley to be as athletic as he was to land that spinning back kick while his leg was being held, it was very impressive. But it just like in anything in life, if you don't take those risks, you never know. And that was a big risk to take to execute a move like that, and when it lands, it's the most spectacular knockout of the century. And if it doesn't, if we remember Weidman versus Rockhold, I believe, I think Weidman threw a similar spinning back kick that was pretty ugly, and then he ended up getting his back taken and knocked out. So, there's always like two roads, right? So obviously, no one can say 10 times out of 10 Buckley lands that kick. So it was a competitive fight going back and forth, and it could have gone a completely different way, so that's just the game that we play. It's a fine game of millimeters, and respect to Impa, coming down to 170, welcoming him to the 170 division. I think will be interesting, considering he's never fought as a professional at 170. So he's a pretty lean guy. So it will be interesting to see how that goes for him. Again, weight has never been an issue for me, as long as he shows up and he's professional. I respect him. I know he's a very respectful human being. So that's going to be cool. No need to talk any trash. We're both working hard. We both, we know what we got to do. We're going to put on a show, I hope. I know I can already state it right here. I'm going to put my hands on him, and I'm going to assume he's probably going to initiate the grappling, because that's not going to be me. And we're going to go. I fought on 2 weeks' notice after having COVID. I started camp for this fight in the best shape of my life. So the next 4 weeks are going to be very interesting, and I'm very excited, because now I've kind of put my foot in the door, and a couple people know my name. I'm not saying I'm a big name or anything like that, but Impa's got a bigger name than me. People know who he is, and I think it'll be the perfect situation to kind of get my name out there even more with the performance that I envision on April 10th.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think you touched on the biggest thing for me in this fight, because both of you are high caliber athletes. You both bring a great skill set to the octagon. I like the matchup. For me, the thing is going to be seeing him compete at 170, because he's never competed at 170. I mean, he's still he's very young in his MMA career. I mean, he's been in this like 4 years, 5 years. I don't remember exactly how long. So he's a natural athlete. He played football, but he's not. He's not an MMA, like most of the guys you see in MMA today have come up in MMA, in some form of combat sport.
Correct.
Eventually evolved into being a professional mixed martial artist. Impa Kasanganay is not that guy. He played football and then wrestling, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's in the UFC. A quick ascent to the highest level of the sport. But again, because he hasn't competed at 170, the weight cut is going to affect him differently. I'm pretty sure that I heard, and I haven't spoken to him about this fight yet, but I'm pretty sure I heard from somebody down South Florida, where he's training now with Sanford MMA, that he'll be bringing in a proper nutritionist for this, because he is going to have to get to 170, and since he hasn't done that before, at this level, you can't just do it on a whim. You have to make sure that you have the proper nutrition. So somebody helping you control your diet, your caloric intake, and all that stuff, as well as the exercise and stuff you need to do, the conditioning and the training to go along with the proper food management. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And I'll tell you this now, I am picking nobody in this fight. Here's the thing, and I tell people this all the time, doing this for a living, they say you're not supposed to become friendly with the people you interview, but it's hard, man, because you're just normal people. And I don't think of you as like unattainable people that you can't talk to. You're just regular people that have a really cool job, and um,
Facts.
you know what I mean. So, but once I talk to somebody, and it's not every fighter, but there's certain fighters I've spoken with that I just felt like bonded with, like, and you and I in the first show, I really enjoyed. Like I said, I'm not kissing your ass. I don't have to. I just enjoyed the conversation because I learned a lot about you in that conversation. And the thing I learned the most was that your knowledge and your ability to deliver the knowledge is very high compared to some guys. Like I could put you on a desk with Dominic Cruz and Daniel Cormier, with John Anik running the show, and you would be able to keep up with all these guys. You wouldn't miss a beat. And everybody can't do that. It's actually a talent, and some people think, oh, I'm a fighter. I can talk about fights all day. No, you can't. Just like some fighters can't coach worth a shit, I mean, it's a, so you really, I really hope, and I've said to you earlier before we came on the air, and I said to you last time, we got to get the UFC to get you out there on the road, doing commentary for some of the smaller promotions, and dip your toes in the pool, if you will, because I think you'd be awesome at doing the commentary or working the desk. But anyway, bring it back. So with IMPA, 170 is going to be the big thing. Really be able to get there? I think so. He's a dedicated athlete. He's a young man. He's a professional. But I don't just, it's hard to think of him performing at 170 at the same level he did at 185, because that's a 15-pound difference in weight cut, which we know, I don't care. You can have the best nutritionist, the best diet plan, everything going your way, but your human body doesn't fully recover from that kind of a weight cut in 24 hours. It's an actual physical impossibility. So even though, and you, like you said, you don't have a problem cutting weight. What do you walk at?
Right now, I'm walking at I'm on the heavier side coming into this fight, which is when I arrived at the UFC, they said I was 12 pounds underweight for my weight class. So they're like, you can put on weight. So I was like, okay, but obviously I'm not just going to put on weight and then come fight. So I've been working a lot on putting on a lot of power, strength in this time that I've been working, and I've put on a solid 12 pounds. So I'm walking around right now like 195. And I haven't really had to do anything about my diet. I eat clean, but I still enjoy myself. If you see, last night I had pink box donuts, so I can still enjoy myself, in limits. Maybe a month, 5 weeks out from the fight, I'll start to cut everything nice and clean, 4 weeks out, just because I like my body to be firing, feeling really good. But I've never had an issue with weight. I sweat a lot. It comes off. I know my body so well. I've been an athlete for a very long time, so I know myself really well, and I think it's one of my best attributes. I know when to push it. I know when to sit back. So that's kind of going to be a big part that I'm hoping will keep my career and longevity long. And with the weight cut, I fought at 185 before, but like I said, I was walking around closer to the weight. 170, as I said, has never been a hassle. And 155 has always kind of popped into my head, but I've spoken to too many people that say you just don't want to do it.
I mean,
and it's
155 from 190, dude, that's fucking sick, dude. That's crazy.
But look at Paul Felder.
I know, dude. Listen, I know guys do it. It's still crazy. It's like you're losing, like, you're basically losing like a toddler. Like you're losing like a whole human. Or you're losing half an atom weight fighter. I mean, it's like, what the hell, dude?
No, I know.
And then you're hydrating after and going out there and fighting. The guys that can do it, hats off. But unless, I mean, like, you're telling me 190, 192. So if they offered you a fight at 155, it would have to be a huge payday for you to put your body through that. That's the only way. And even then, I'm still not sure, because the long-term effect of weight cutting is, what we worry about with fighters, and as some of the, the guys that were breakthrough fighters, in MMA that we're starting to see get older, Randy Couture and some of these other guys, we're going to see the effects of drastic weight cuts, and we're going to start to hear more about it, because now, we're 25 years in, 28 years in, whatever it is now, 29 years. I don't even know anymore. I've lost count because it doesn't matter. But for things like this, it does, because now we're going to see the long-term adverse effects of what weight cutting did to some of these guys, as far as, their organs and how they hold up. And we're probably going to see some that have really bad effects from it but the benefit will be we'll get to learn.
Yeah.
So guys that come in the generation next behind you will go, well, shit, this happened to this guy and this guy, and now we figured out a way to still get my weight down, but without having these bad problems that we've seen in the past from older fighters before medical advancements and being able to study it because you didn't have anything to study before. So
sure.
I'm excited to see. I'm not excited to see anybody have bad results, but I am excited to see how it evolves the sport because at the end of the day, fighter safety has got to be the paramount thing for everybody. And weight cutting is it's not the fight. The fight isn't the fucking hardest thing for you guys. That's not even the most dangerous part. It's the weight cut, where most guys would suffer more damage. So I mean, you get your arm broke, that's going to heal. But if you tear up your kidneys from a couple of weight cuts and you don't realize it, and then 2 years from now your kidneys fail because excessive weight cutting, that's going to just hit you out of the blue. It's not going to just slowly happen. It's going to be one of those things that's just arm break. All right, shit, I'm in a cast for 4 months. I go back to training 6 months. I beat somebody up 8 months later.
Mm-hmm.
The kidneys fail. That's a career ender.
No, for sure. No, I mean, like for me, like I've met obviously lots of different fighters, and I've heard the experiences they've gone through in weight cuts, and some guys just have a big set of balls and they just say screw it and they just go, I'll cut 30 pounds in a week, which is absurd to me. I've never ever been in a situation like that. I've never had to hold my water, do the water scheduling. I never had to cut 30 pounds or 20 pounds. When I fight, I cut 8 pounds, 10 pounds. By the time I get to fight week, I'm already walking around at 180, 178, and I'm eating. I'm not stressing. I'm not, freaking out. I see a lot of people who get that this is the biggest concern. Can I make the weight? This is the last of my concern. I don't care because I know I can do it. So as long as I'm being diligent and not being a dumbass and eating the right things, my body is going to do the same thing over and over again that it's been doing. As I get older, it might change, but I should know that. I have to check my weight every day. That's what I get paid to do.
Right.
That's why I sign a piece of paper, and that's why I come on it that way. So I've never ever had an issue of making weight, and I've always put that as just I'm a professional. So if I'm going to continue to be a professional, I'm going to continue to make the weight, and I'm going to come in and do exactly as you asked me, so that I get the opportunity to do what I love to do. And it's as simple as that. It shouldn't be any other way.
Shouldn't be any other way. And, you see guys, what was it, last week or the week before? Some guy came in like 11.5 pounds over. I mean, that's just disrespectful to yourself, your team, your opponent, the promotion. You can't do that. And the thing was, I think it came out. He had to go to the hospital the night before, and they told him to stop cutting weight. He still should have been closer, even if he didn't cut. Anymore. He still should have been closer. So I don't buy the story they told us. But again, I wasn't there. I don't know, and I don't want to disparage those people too much because I wasn't there and I don't know. But it just sounded all sketchy and fishy to me. But I don't like the bullshit when it comes to the fight game. I like people to be honest, upfront, and transparent. We're gonna move into this fight card, man. I'm looking forward to your fight, man. I'm gonna be watching with big wide eyes for you and Impa. And I'll tell you this, my only hope for that fight is whoever wins and whoever loses, happy for the guy that wins, sucks for the guy, be sad for the guy that loses. I just want both of you to be able to walk out of the octagon under your own power that night. That's all I care about. When it's two people that I like, one's got to win, one's got to lose. I get it. I can't pick. I'm like, I put a big X on my picks. I'm like, can't pick.
No draws allowed. Fuck that. I hate that.
No draw. If somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. I'm listen.
Exactly.
If you guys fight to a draw, I'm coming to both of your cities, and I'm going to give you both a wedgie. Yeah, Forrest, this is not Cisco and Ebert. I'm not doing movie reviews right now, bro. I love you, man, but we're not doing movie reviews. Before we jump into this UFC 259 card, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Two legendary heavyweights, Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem, were both released yesterday. Reem, I believe, had 2 fights left on his contract. He was on a 2-fight winning streak, and he got knocked out by Alexander Volkov. And then JDS was on a 4-fight losing streak. And they offered him a fight, short notice. He said no, and then he got cut. I don't know if one has something to do with the other, but when you get offered a late fight and you don't take it, and then 8 days later you get cut, the natural progression of the mind says that probably had something to do with it. Yeah, and of course, 4-fight losing streak, didn't help. And being a former champion, while it'll get you some street cred, it's only going to carry you so far. So, just give me your thoughts on those two guys getting cut, and where you think they might end up or are they done?
So let's start with Overeem, one of my favorites. He said it himself. He's like, I have one run left in me. So if I don't get to the title, then I'm basically done. He said it. So he kind of gave the UFC an exit, but also the UFC were giving him his opportunity to maybe get back into it. Unfortunately, he failed with Volkov. But I still think he'll finish out his career with maybe a couple more fights. He might fight in Japan, where he started. He's a very expensive contract, so I was only thinking it would be a matter of time. He was probably one of the luckier guys, along with Hector Lombard, when they came in, that were able to negotiate such huge deals. So those are two individuals that I would say have done very well in the UFC. So I'm sure the UFC brass were happy to release that name off of their checks. So that was kind of an inevitable situation. If Alistair kept winning, they'd keep him, but basically he failed, and that's where it is with Junior Dos Santos. Yeah, former champ, 4-fight losing streak. It's not looking good. Doesn't look like a contender. And like I said, I think the last fight against Cyril Gane, he was complaining about the back of the head elbow, which if he could watch the fight back, he would agree was not. And he was just kind of complaining and just making unnecessary noise that I believe that the UFC doesn't like to always hear. And then when the opportunity to again fight on short notice comes and he declines it, who knows what the conversation was. But my guess, I'm assuming maybe JDS wanted something more, and the UFC told him, who are you to ask that? And he said no, and then you got the X. But I think it was an inevitable situation. JDS, for me, he fought at a time where at the heavyweight division, when you had high level boxing or good hands, you could take off and be a champ. But now the guys are way more well-rounded. They're way more powerful, explosive, and I feel like he's kind of been left behind in that era. And been in some tough fights and some wars, and he's gotten older. So all those things accumulate. It's normal. It's our biggest fear is getting older and not being able to compete. So the UFC, I think, made the right decision, and I think he might. Me personally, maybe he'll fight again, but I don't think he'll fight in a big show. Personally, I just feel like, I don't know. I think he's probably just gonna chill. That's my opinion. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, but that's why I asked. I wanted your opinion, not somebody else's.
But I do see Alistair trying to, if he can get the right money, I think he could definitely get some fights still, whether that be in Bellator or in Ryzen or in One or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see. I'd love to see them both fight. I'll watch them fight 100% again. So we'll see where the future has for them.
Yeah, I think Reem will probably end up in Japan, or in Saigon, or somewhere Singapore for one. Because of his roots embedded in Japanese, and Asian MMA scene. So I think that's a absolute 100% accurate assessment of the landing spot for him. Junior Dos Santos, however, I don't see him going overseas to do that. It's just not where he's going to go. Bellator will probably make an offer, but I honestly think JDS is going to go to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I think David Feldman is going to sign him and bring him over.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would bring them both. But JDS would definitely be somebody, a former UFC champion coming in, would help them with their promotion as they continue to grow. It would be a huge investment for them, so he can make a big payday. He doesn't have to worry about jiu-jitsu or anything else. We know he has hands, and we also know that, and I say this with no disrespect to anybody on the BKFC roster because I'm a huge supporter, but there's nobody there with the fight experience that JDS brings when he walks into the cage or to the ring if he went over there. So the matchups, there's guys over there I think, could actually, give him a run. So I'm not saying he can't get beat there, but if he's going to make a move and big money move, this is the big money move to make for him. And BKFC would definitely put him on, So I kind of hope it happens because I like that. Hey, what's up there, MMA Pixels? How you doing? All right. So also, before we jump onto this card, they showed a picture. Somebody made a meme of JDS and Reem, cut from the UFC today. And then on the bottom, they show that you ever see the Homer Simpson meme where he's going back into the hedges and disappears out of the. Yeah, they had it. Somebody took Andrei Arlovsky's face and put it on there. But
Yeah,
they show him just disappear and Andrei Arlovsky just. And I thought it was the
that's
funniest.
funny.
Arlovsky's doing good, man. So I mean, I don't
He
see him
is.
getting anytime soon.
Mhm.
And he's even more old school to the UFC than both of those guys, I think, combined. So he's got a little more foot in the door, and he'll probably get a lot more chances. He's on that BJ Penn, I can lose 8 fights in a row and still be at the UFC level. That's where
Yeah.
Arlovsky is. So, all right, so let's jump into this card. We've got 15 fights, man. Biggest card of the year so far. 3 championship fights headline the thing. For you guys watching, this is Case our Christopher James. It's our UFC 259 preview show. We're talking with UFC welterweight Sasha Palatnikov. He's going to break down the card. Thanks to Just Heart Apparel and Just Heart Apparel East Coast for being a sponsor of the show and always supporting what we do. Not just me, but fighters all across the country. He does gear and T-shirts and everything. He'll help you out. Sasha, if you need T-shirts, let me know. I got the hookup. My sponsor will hook you up. He makes good gear. So 15 fights. Again, 3 title fights. It's definitely the biggest card they've had as far as amount of fights. We'll see how many of these fights hold up tomorrow. We've been running into a recent epidemic. I hate to use any word with the demic at the end of it now, but epidemic of some fights dropping on weighing day. COVID protocols. Somebody from the team. Drakkar Klose and Luis Pena, they got dropped because Klose's corner caught COVID. It's part of our climate and society today. It sucks. But right now, as it sits today, we have 15 fights. I'm telling you guys honestly, there's a couple of guys on here I'm not sure of. So, it's just going to be kind of flip pick. I'm sure Sasha knows more of these guys than I do, but he might have a flip pick too. So, we're not, the end all be all encyclopedias. We're just a couple of guys that like fights and like to talk about them. And then you guys can make your picks based on what we say or go someplace else for 2 smarter people, I guess. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Anyway, so we're going to jump in right now. First fight of the night, a featherweight attraction, Mario Bautista taking on Trevin Jones. And for this one, Bautista's a minus 240 favorite. Jones coming in at plus 190. Sasha, what do you know about these guys, if anything? And, you got a pick on it. Do you have a pick?
Yeah, so I know Trevin Jones. He made his debut, big underdog against a very tough, I think he was Russian. And he was being dominated and came back and won by KO, 1 punch, and it was very unexpected. I think in the second round, Trevin's fought in Korea. He's been on Asian MMA scene, so I am aware of him. Mario Bautista, I am not too familiar with. I'm not even sure is this his debut or I'm not really 100% sure. I've never watched him fight, but based on just what I know and who I know, I'm going to go with Trevin on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the favorite on this one because when it comes to stuff like this, and I don't know, I can't do a deep dive on these guys. I'll give you this: Trevin Jones is 12-6, and Bautista is 8-1. And let me see. I don't believe this is his debut. I think this is might be his third. It's actually his 4th fight. Oh, it's coming up right now. 4th fight. He debuted against Corey Sandhagen, and he got submitted by an armbar in the first round, January of 2019. He then took on Jin-Soo Sun, beat him by decision, and then he took on Miles Johns at UFC 247, and he won by TKO, flying knee, and punches. So, and I've seen him fight. I just didn't, know. I don't remember how long he's been there. He does bring a unique skill set with him, and what little I know about Trevin Jones, you just said, the little I know about him is what I saw him do, winning that fight with that 1 punch KO. Those are sick, dude. I don't care when it happens in the fight. 1 punch and you go down. It's crazy.
Yeah.
MMA Pixels, thank you for the info. I should have just waited for you to comment. I wouldn't have to go do some research, man. Thank you for chiming in. He goes, he's got 3 UFC fights already. I'm like, son of a bitch, man. I'm sitting there trying to get my shit to load. But I'm going to take Batista on this. I think he's the favorite for a reason. He's taking on a guy, with a little more experience, but 6 losses on his record. And even though he does show he has one punch knockout power, I think Batista, in his one loss, was he got submitted, and he lost to Corey Sandhagen. So it's not like he lost to a tool. He lost to a guy that's right here at championship level. So we'll see how it all breaks down. So we went the opposite on this, and that's all right, man. We can do that. I am not afraid to go against you, only because you're in Vegas and you can't slap me if I fucking say something fucked up. So we were in the same room. I might be going, all right, whatever you say, sir. No.
I can arrange it. I can have people come through. No problem.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I know people. I know people too. All right. Hey, what are you talking about? Next, we're going to move to the flyweight division. Tim Elliott, Jordan Espinosa. Tim Elliott comes in at -105, and Espinosa comes in at -125. This is a very evenly matched fight. I'm going to jump out in front on this one. I like what Espinosa brings to this fight. He is well-rounded. I think he's that guy that can really deal with Tim Elliott's unique style, because Tim Elliott is unique when he fights. His footwork, his angles. I mean, and he's constant motion. He is absolute constant motion, and he frustrates guys. I don't think Espinosa is going to fall into those traps. I think Espinosa is going to be fine with the footwork, fine with the speed, and fine with the level of the fight. So, and I think he's just going to be the guy that outlasts Elliott. I don't think there's going to do anything but go to a decision, but I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I would say it's going to be by submission for Espinosa, and it'll be late in the fight. So that's my pick on this one. What's yours?
Yeah, I think Jordan Espinosa, he's a stronger guy physically. I'm going to assume he's going to probably have the gas tank to go all 3 rounds. Like you said, Tim Elliott is a bit of a, he's unorthodox, bit of a wild card. But, yeah, I think Jordan will take him down. I think Tim will try to, welcome him on the mat and maybe try to play some jiu-jitsu. But I feel like Jordan will be strong on top, wrestling base, and be able to kind of control. If I was to predict this fight, I would say it will probably be a decision to Jordan Espinosa.
All right, we're going to move on to another flyweight fight. Rogerio Bontorin versus Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France comes in as the favorite at -140 versus coming in Bontorin coming in at +110. This one's an easy one for me. Kai Kara France is the better fighter, in my opinion. I've seen some footage on Bontorin. I've watched Kai Kara France in numerous fights. I just think he brings more. I think he's in that groove right now where you're really gonna have to fucking be something special to beat him right now. He's got that going on, and like I said, I think as far as they're both well-rounded athletes, but I think Kai Kara France just is a level above. So
yeah,
based on that, again, that's why he's the favorite in this fight. And it's not a huge disparity. That's what I'm starting to like. You really start to see the fights where these odds are really close. I don't like the big disparities, because that means you're basically one guy's fighting a guy who everybody deems a tomato can, and we shouldn't have tomato can fights in the UFC. So these nice close odds make it fun, because you should see a good fight. And I don't gamble, so I don't lose any money or win any money, but it makes it more entertaining to make a pick and to go, this is going to be a good fucking fight. And that's what we want to see at the end of the day, good fights. So by the way, my picker in the crowd, Forrest Daniels, he agrees with both of us on Espinosa by submission. He said the second round, and I'm going to let him lead out on this one. He's taking Kara France to take a 3rd round TKO. So what do you got on this one there, Mr. Palatnikov?
Yeah, I would say I think Kai Kara gets it done. I think he'll knock him out. Probably, I would say maybe end of second.
That's where I'm at. Round 2.
Yeah. I think he's got he'll have the sharper striking. He's got the momentum, and it's Izzy's fight card. So when they all fight together, they seem to always get the win.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Kai Kara France.
All right, and next we're gonna move up to featherweight. Euros Medic versus Elon Cruz. Medic comes in at the -170, and Cruz comes in at the +140. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. Cruz is a Tampa guy. He lives here in my neighborhood. He's good people. He still has a job at the local grocery store one day a week where he goes in and, bagging groceries, to keep himself humble. even though he's in the UFC, he achieved part of the dream getting there. So I don't care who he's fighting. I'm taking my boy. He's local. I got to ride with my dude, man. Odds or not, and he can bring it. So he's legitimate. Like I said, it's a minus 170 to plus 140. Not a big swing. I understand why Medic is the favorite, but I'm still taking the underdog in this one because I believe in this kid. I've watched him come up, so that's where I'm at. I'm biased as fuck.
Yeah, I've seen Elon at the PI a couple times. I don't know him personally, but I've seen him, and I believe will be his official UFC debut, correct?
No, he's already had a UFC fight.
Oh, he has? Okay. So yeah, I
Yeah.
remember him winning on the Contender Series by that flying knee, and that was quite nice. And I'm not sure who his debut fight was. I don't even know what the outcome. I don't remember.
I'm pulling up right now for you. His oh no, he lost his first fight out. He took on Spike Carlisle.
Okay.
Spike Carlisle's a tough son of a bitch, man.
He got released, you know.
Yeah, I know. He just got released. Him and Billy Q had a good fight too. You know, now that I'm sitting there popping, that was a really good fight. So, and Billy Q is another local Tampa guy that I love. So, but anyway, we'll get back to that.
I think I've seen Uros fight. You know, he's pretty well rounded. You know, I think this is going to be a really good fight. Honestly, I'm assuming Elon's probably the taller, longer fighter.
Let's see. Yeah, he's 6 foot 78-inch reach versus Medic, who is 6'1", 71-inch reach. So 7-inch reach disadvantage for Medic, which is a great thing for him.
7 inches.
7 inches. But you know, and for Medic, let's see where we're at here. This is actually his official UFC debut.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna go with Elon.
Right, wrong guy.
I'm gonna go with Elon. I'm gonna go with Elon on this one too.
Fuck yeah, that's what I like, man. Gotta pimp my boys. Next, we're gonna move into the light heavyweight division. These are both two guys I'm not overly familiar with, so I'm just gonna go with the odds on this one. And but I've got Kennedy Nchekwu versus Carlos Ulberg. Again, not over familiar with them. A little bit of familiarity with Ulberg, but not enough to go. He's a guaranteed win, even though he's the favorite on this. I don't know enough about his opponent to make an educated decision. So on this one, I'm just going to, give into the odds, and I'm going to take Ulberg with minus 250. This is a light heavyweight fight. What's your thoughts on this one there, Mr.
So Kennedy Nchekwu, I believe he fights out of Fortis MMA. I've seen him fight a couple times. I think he's a bit slow for the weight class. He's a long, tall guy, but I feel like he's too slow for Carlos. Carlos is was a high-level kickboxer. You know, he competed in New Zealand and in that region, the Oceanic region. He's obviously training partner with Israel, coming out of a very good camp out there. So I don't know Carlos personally, but I know people, and they say very good things about him and his ability to fight. So I'm going to go with Carlos on this as well. He's the favorite. I saw his fight on the Contender Series. Then again, I think he's only 3-0 in MMA. I don't know too much about how his ground game is. Maybe that's something Kennedy looks to find out. It's possible, it's a possibility they game plan for that because Carlos is a high-level kickboxer and he will be quicker. But to be honest, if I was betting or putting money on, I would say Carlos by KO. I think he's too fast, and I think he gets it done.
And Forrest Daniels agrees with us. He's giving us the Ulberg in the second round with the TKO. And I'll tell you, this kid Forrest, man, he's probably more consistent than most of the bookies I see as far as his picks. Even picking decisions and rounds. I was going to tell him one day that he should do this as a pro, be a pro picker, because he really does have an outstanding record because he picks fights every week, and I watch him. I'm like, how do you fucking do this? But, but he does it. But I think if he started, try to make money off it, I think his luck would run out. It's
always like that.
It's always like that. And then, people are going to be pissed at him, at least this way, he's just throwing it out there,
Well,
and
he's got to sell his services. So people pay him to give advice, but then he doesn't get involved in making the bets. That's how everybody.
Right. He'll make his money off the people, but it's like once people start paying him for it, I feel like his luck would run out, and then he'd be fucked, man. That would suck. So Forrest, don't do it, bro. Just enjoy having fun making your picks. Next, we're going to move to the welterweight division. Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews. Brady's coming in at minus 210 versus Matthews at plus 170. And Forrest just commented, he goes, that's exactly what would happen. My luck would run out. He knows. But he does good. My buddy Garrett Kerman, the fight analyst, he runs a site where he gives out his picks, and you pay for his services. And I think Forrest beats him on a regular. And I love Garrett. Garrett's really good at, and not just with MMA. He's really good through the whole sports world, but he's particularly awesome with MMA. Even though he's not as big of a name as some of the guys that get TV time and all that shit. This kid's money, and a lot of people make money with him. So he does good. So Sean Brady minus 210, Jake Matthews. Lead us in on this one there, Sash.
Going Sean Brady. I hear the dude's an absolute stud. He's got good striking. He's got really, really good ground game. And they're very interesting. Both fighters are very similar. Jake Matthews also has got some pretty good striking, boxing. He's got good footwork. And he's also proficient. I believe he's a black belt on the ground too. But I just think Sean Brady will get it done. That's why he's the favorite. I've only heard sparkling reviews. He's going to be, a contender. Probably after, if he gets this done, I think he submits Jake Matthews. And yeah, I'm going with that.
Yeah, I'm on the same train as you with this one. I think he's going to submit Matthews. I don't think this fight goes past the second round. He's really good at what he does, and I do believe that he does have an absolute advantage on the ground, and he's going to, show us, why he's so highly touted by people, and why he's getting the shine that he's getting, because he's earned it. He's not just some jabroni. He's a tough guy, and he's the future contender, no doubt about it. So we're on the same page on that one. Next, we'll move into the women's strawweight. The first of only two female fights on this card. With 15 fights, we'd have thought they would be able to put another third female fight, or even a fourth female fight on here. But as it sits, there's only two. This is an interesting matchup. Lavinia Souza versus Amanda Lemos. Souza comes in at 185 plus 185, and Lemos comes in at minus 235. Although, in my opinion, I think the number should be a little closer. I'm taking Lemos to win this fight. I think she is just a better overall fighter. She really should go anywhere in this fight, and I like her style. I like how she comes in. She's all business. She's 8-1 with one decision. But my boy Forrest says she's going to win by decision. I'm actually going to take her to finish this fight. Even though Souza's 14-2. I still believe that Souza's a better fighter, and she just had her moment. I think there's going to be somewhat of a coming out party for Lemos. She's going to come out there and make a statement in this fight, which is, what you want to see, and that's my thoughts on this. And what do you got for me?
Yeah, I agree. I think Lemos is just the overall better fighter. Even though Souza has more experience on her record, but in terms of just athletic ability, I think Lemos is just a little bit ahead, and I think she'll get it done. And like you said, this will be big card, big opportunity to get her name out in the strawweight division.
Yeah, a huge card. I mean, with the prominence of 3 title fights. I mean, if you're on this card on the undercard, and you're looking to gain some momentum and a little push from the public, this is a great stage to be on to showcase your skill set and let the world know, yo, I'm here. And this is a great opportunity for this young lady. And like I said, I think she's going to shine really hard on it. And she's the favorite. Even though technically I think the number should be closer, but she's the favorite. Next, we move to the flyweight. Joseph Benavidez minus 105 versus Askar Askarov at minus 125. What do you have here for me?
I got Askar Askarov. Benavidez, unfortunately, don't know how much longer he's going to have. I don't see him ever, unfortunately, being able to hold the title. So maybe he'll eventually get to that role as gatekeeper of the division. And then hopefully sail off into the sunset, you know. But I think Askarov gets done. I think he wins. I could see him winning by stoppage, maybe a late stoppage or a convincing unanimous decision. But I think Askarov's got momentum here, and I think if he wins convincingly here, then he could be knocking on the door after Brandon Moreno and Figueiredo.
Yeah,
So,
I mean he's close. I mean, he's let's see, he's 4 fights in to the UFC. Well, this will be his 4th fight. First fight he came in and fought Moreno. They fought to a draw. Then he beat Tim Elliott. He beat Alexandra Pantoja, and now he's got Benavidez. And these are all names in the division. He's not coming in and fighting. The guys that are on the lower end of the tier. And again, when I say the lower end, it's no disrespect. There's just guys that are at this level, and there's guys that are at this level. So if anybody out there gets offended by, I said the lower end, I don't give a fuck if you get offended. It's just the truth, But since he's come to the UFC, it's decision, a decision, draw, split that he got a draw, and so he hasn't finished. This is an opportunity for him to finish against a big name, a guy that's been around a long time. Because before he got here, in his fights leading up to this, he beat Rasul Albaskanov with a guillotine. The fight before that, he beat Anthony Leone with a twister. The fight before that, he won with an anaconda. The fight before that, he won with a rear naked. Fight before that, he won with punches and then a rear naked. So before he got to the UFC, he finished every fucking fight. Now he's got here, and it's showing that the level is different, and you have to be smarter in these fights. Where some of these other regional shows, even though ACB is a huge regional show, I mean it's a big promotion. To us, it's a huge regional show, but over on the other side of the world where it's on, it's big leagues.
yeah.
And he didn't fight again. I know some of these guys he's fought, with a lot of experience. He's fighting guys that like 37-5 and 15-7 and 19-6. So he wasn't fighting nobodies with no records. He was fighting tough guys coming up, but the level is different in the UFC. So
For sure.
Benavidez is a big name, 28-7. And this is a moment. Again, this is a moment for him to step up right now and put his name on the freaking map with everybody. He's already fought some big names in the division. This is by far the biggest. And I believe he shines. Forrest is picking against me. He's saying Benavidez is going to win by decision. I think Benavidez loses before he even walks in the octagon. I just don't think he's going to be the same. He's coming off some nasty, fights, So, it's sad because I like Benavidez, but at the end of the day, he's not the top of the crop anymore. So Nope. And everybody gets there, but lost by the ground and pound and the loss by rear naked. He's not the same guy. And the top of the division, these new guys coming in are going to continue to evolve past him. Sucks, but that's the name of the game.
Sure.
Next, got another bantamweight fight. Song Yadong and Kyler Phillips. Song coming in at -155. Kyler coming in at +125. I think these numbers are pretty right on. And this is almost a pick 'em fight for me. I just think Sadong's going to bring a little bit more, and he's going to win this one. So there's not even too much to say because it's a very even matchup in my eyes. The odds show that, but I think the odds can even be a little closer. I think Song's just going to come in there and put on a little bit of a show and win the fight. What you got on this one?
Well, first of all, Song's last fight, he lost. He didn't win. He fought Marlon Vera. That was a ridiculous decision. Kyler Phillips is going to win this fight. He will be very, let's just say, you're going to see something that I don't think we've seen from him yet. Song Yadong is powerful. He has, he trains out of Alpha Male, but I think Kyler Phillips will get it done. I'd like to see what our friend's prediction will be on this one. I really think Kyler will get it done. And yeah, I think Song they're trying to push him because he's Chinese. They're trying to push him a little bit higher than I think he's worth at the moment. And that Marlon Vera fight was an example of that. And I think Kyler Phillips will get a lot of shine from this fight because he's not ranked and Yadong is ranked. So this is a great opportunity for him to, like you said before, on a big card, kind of be the upset. It's close
Absolutely. You know, he's 8-1, and he's a beast. There's no doubt about this Kyler Phillips kid. Um, and while Song, I agree with you. Even though he got the win in that last fight, he didn't win. I just still believe that he's still there at that spot, and I think this is going to be a huge test for Phillips. And if he can come out on the other side of it and really pull out a big win, hats off to him, because that will immediately push him. He'll get a big push in the division from that point forward. And he's a good-looking kid. He can fight. He can talk decent. So he's what they're looking for. So this is his moment to show them that the pick to get him into the UFC was the right thing for them. And like I said, this is almost a pick 'em fight. I mean, that's how close it is. I'm just going with Song.
What's Forrest saying?
Forrest says he's taking the Matrix to win by first round TKO or KO. And he said
Forrest
Matrix
knows.
For real.
Forrest knows.
Forrest knows.
There you go.
I'm going to get a hashtag going. Forrest knows. We're going to make T-shirts with his face on.
There we go.
He does. He gets a lot of these right. All right. Next up, the final prelim fight. Bantamweight's Dominic Cruz coming in at plus 105 against Casey Kenny at a minus 135. This is really going to be an interesting fight. As long as Keith Peterson is not the referee, I think we're going to be okay. I love Dominic Cruz because Dominic Cruz has always spoken his mind. He's not afraid to say what he wants to say. He believes Peterson drinks and smokes before the fights, which, if he has a smoke or a cigarette, whatever, that has nothing to do with, it's not going to affect his knowledge. If he's drinking before a fight, which is unproven, but that's a little fucked up. But if you smell alcohol in the referee's breath before a fight, maybe you should go to the commission table and say, hey, listen, man, Peterson over there, he smells like he's fucking just walking out of the gin joint. Can you go check that shit out? Let me know what's going on, because he's scheduled to ref my fight. If he's tipsy, I don't want to do it, And
honestly, though, after being like around them and stuff, they're all around each other. They're people close to each other. If he was smelling like cigarettes and stuff, I'm sure someone would notice it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, I know Dominic Cruz was upset about that last fight, and I'm not going to lie. I felt that he was still in the fight. I felt the fight could have continued and should have continued.
Yeah.
I think Peterson did jump the gun. I don't think Peterson was drunk. I don't think I don't care if he had 10 cigarettes before the bell. I don't give a fuck, dude. That doesn't affect your judgment. Maybe it just says that you're stupid like me for smoking. But other than that, I can smoke a cigarette while I'm watching a fight and still get the fucking call right, make the right move, make the right pick, But if he's drinking, that's a problem. But I don't think he was drinking. I've met Keith Peterson before. He's a professional. He takes the job seriously. So, and again, I could be wrong. I mean, you don't know, who knows? But I don't think he was drinking, but I wasn't there that day. Dominic Cruz said that he was drinking. So, is that being bitter, or is that, is he stating something? And if he was stating something, shouldn't he have said something to the commission right then and there and said, hey, look, man, your ref smells like alcohol, dude, check it out, because if I'm a fighter, and I walk in smelling like alcohol, somebody from the commission is going to know, because somebody's going to tell them. So, and that's their job. That's their responsibility. So I think your job as a fighter, if you smell the ref coming in, like you just fucking walked out of the fucking hemp field, fucking smoking, fucking 50 joints, he shouldn't come into the thing high, because that will affect how you move and everything as a referee inside the ring or cage. If he smells like alcohol, I think that has to be brought to the commission. So if you're a fighter and that happens to you, go to the commission table and say, look, man, this fucker smells like a fucking, brewery, man. Can you check that out? Because what the fuck, So and I think if that really happened, I think Cruz is the guy that would have went to the table. So,
Sure.
There's a fake Keith Peterson account out there on Twitter. It popped up a gem today. It said, Dominic, it shows Dominic Cruz requested no Keith Peterson for his fight, and then Keith Peterson Twitter popped up and goes, that's okay, I don't ref prelims, and I'm just like,
that shit was hilarious.
Fucking hysterical. So lead us into the dance on this one. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Again, the numbers aren't far off. -135. Cruz is coming in as the underdog. I can't remember the last time he fought in a non-main card fight. And, not even it's been a while. I mean, maybe one non-5 round fight in his last, 8 or 9. So, I mean, it's a unique spot for him. He don't care about the placement of the card. He said he just wants to fight. So, give me your thoughts on this one.
I think it's a close one, but yeah, I mean, geez, I think that's one of in my opinion, a pretty close fight. But it's a 3-round fight. Casey Kenny seems to have the momentum. He actually surprised me when I watched him. I was actually quite impressed. Yeah, I mean, Dominic, he's former champ, but age and injuries and all that kind of thing. This is a real hard one for me to pick. But if I was betting, I would just put it on Casey just because he's the favorite. Yeah, I'll say Casey by decision. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, he's got the last couple of fights. Let's see, what do we got here? And this is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his 7th UFC fight. So you can't even consider him a rookie anymore. I mean, 7 fights in, I consider you a veteran. He got wins against Nathaniel Wood by decision. He's got a win against Haley Alentang by decision. He beat Louis Smolka with a one-arm guillotine in the first round of a fight. He lost to Marab Devashvili, which can't even get mad at, dude. That guy's a fucking animal, dude. I would not want that guy chasing me down, No, because he just gets on you like glue, dude. That sucks. He beat Manny Bermudez. He beat Ray Borg in his debut. So, kid's 16-2. Cruz is 22-3. This is really a litmus test for both of these guys. Kenny wants to get a win against right now he's the most. Dominic Cruz, until somebody else does more, I think Dominic Cruz almost has to be regarded as the GOAT of that division for right now. I don't think anybody's accomplished more than him as a bantamweight from WEC into the UFC. So this is a huge opportunity for Casey Kenny to get a win against a guy that is a legend. But there's also a great opportunity for Dominic Cruz to show everybody that the legend isn't done writing the story yet. I'm a big Dominic Cruz mark. I love what he brings to the cage. His footwork, is something that has other fighters studying him. To do it. I mean, even T.J. Dillashaw, was using his footwork against him because his footwork is so unique. His mind works different than other fighters. I was at a seminar that he did down here in Florida. I did a 30-minute sit-down interview with him. It's like you. He's so intelligent with the fight game, and he's not afraid to say what he needs to say. And I've gotten that vibe off you. Like you were talking about JDS. You were just telling him like it is. You're not being a jerk. This is how it is, and Dominic Cruz, that same guy, very forward. He don't sugarcoat it. He tells you the way it is. But his level of fight IQ is really above so many others that, it baffles me sometimes. I can listen to him talk and I'm like, oh, my God, man. He's a sponge, and he can deliver it to you. Sometimes he delivers a little above the level of the people that are listening to him. That was always like a problem with the comedian Dennis Miller. He would talk above his crowd. Dumb it down a little bit for the idiots out there, you know what I'm saying? Because idiots are the ones watching, But I think Dominic Cruz is really motivated. He's got something to prove here. He needs this win. He absolutely 100% needs this win. It's not even like he can, go, oh, well, I don't really need this win. No, you really need this win to keep yourself at the top of the division in championship conversations because, you beat T.J. Dillashaw by split decision in 2016, and you were the champ there, and a lot of people felt he lost that fight. I was absolutely one of the people that felt he won. I felt he did enough, but I'm not the judge. You're not the judge. The judge has picked it. It's over. That's the way it goes. Then he beat Faber, but then he lost to Cody Garbrandt. Then he lost to Henry Cejudo in the controversial finish, controversial stoppage. Not saying he wouldn't have ended losing, but he's on a 2-fight losing streak right now against two of the top guys. Cody was at the top, beat him to take the belt. And then Henry Cejudo, was a champion. Casey Kenny is, one of these future guys coming up, and he wants to build his name off Dominic Cruz. And I don't think Dominic Cruz wants to be that guy that becomes the gatekeeper for the bantamweight division. If he can't compete at the top, he'll walk away. That's what I feel, because that's how he is. That's his mentality. So I think he's going to come out and surprise the world and really put on a show against Casey Kenny, and just to remind everybody why he is Dominic Cruz. So I'm taking him and I'm going to take him to win this one. Third round, I want to say it's going to be a decision, but there's a little piece of me that says he's going to come out there and he's going to fucking get on the ground and pound late in the third, and he's going to finish his fight. But that could just be wishful thinking from a Dominic Cruz fan. But I do think he wins this fight, and the decision is probably the way it'll go down.
Nice.
Forrest, what do you got? Dizzy, yeah, Cruz versus Kenny. Dizzy, that's what we're talking about right now. I took Cruz, Sasha took Kenny, and Forrest Daniels sides with me. Down by decision or late TKO. Whew, that makes me feel so much better about my pick when Forrest doesn't say what, man. That's fucked up, man. But it's good. All right, now we're going to move to the main card. Thiago Santos, Alexander Rakic. Rakic comes in at minus 160 against Santos at plus 130. This is another one of those, I feel, numbers are probably right. Could be a little bit closer, but, I think Rakic is the favorite for a reason. But Santos is just that guy. He's got that power. If he goes and he lands, you're done. I'm gonna take Santos to win this fight. I don't know why, honestly, because Rakic's been doing really well, but I just feel like Santos has to come out there and remind people that he's Thiago Santos. I think he wants to go out there and make a big splash, opening up this pay-per-view card and finish with a knockout early. You don't want to be in there a long time. So that's my pick on this one. What do you got?
Yeah, two big, strong guys, powerful, explosive. It's one of those, right? Whoever lands first could go and lights out. Thiago Santos coming back from the surgery, knee surgery. He did good. Rakic is on a run. Yeah, I don't know. I just think because of I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Thiago, just because he's just fought the best of the best. He's fought Jan, he knocked Jan, finished Jan. He's fought, John Jones, and arguably put him, to his biggest test as well. So, I'm gonna go with Thiago Santos just on kind of maybe just the lead on experience. But I think it's a really close one. I like Rakic as well. I think he's a really exciting fighter as well. So, but if I'm picking, I'll go with Santos.
Yeah, I'm taking Santos. Forrest believes us also. He's taking Santos second round TKO. It's funny sometimes I look at the Tapology pictures of fighters sometimes, or the Sherdog picture, because sometimes I'm going, where the fuck did this picture come from? What event was this? Because it doesn't have anything on there. So let me see. I got to share this. How do I do this? All right, there we go. Share screen. That Chrome tab. No, that's yeah, we'll just share the entire screen. What the heck? All right. So look at this picture right here of Thiago Santos, man.
Oh yeah.
He looks so fucking crazy in that picture, dude. I'm fucking like, oh my god. Look,
he doesn't even have his tattoo yet.
And I'm sharing the whole screen so I can see us over here, like on the screen, like the little boxes of us, what it looks like behind stage. People can't see me.
I see that.
Guys, that's the behind the scenes of what I see when I'm doing the show, just so you know. So, but now it is gone. And now we are back to full size me and Sasha. Oh, by the way, Forrest says he loves the picture of Vegas in the background over your head.
Yep. There you
right
go.
there.
Don't worry, I didn't put that there. I rent this place, so that's
you rented it furnished?
Yeah, I rented it furnished. Yeah. When I first moved to Vegas, I didn't know what was going on or where to live. So I just tried to find the best, like all include, so I don't have to go try to buy things and stress myself out. So I'm actually glad that I did that. So I didn't have to buy anything I didn't need, you know. So
Yeah, besides it's smart for you're waiting for your girlfriend to come over and live here. So why buy a bunch of shit? She's gonna come. I don't like this. I don't
and
like
all
that.
my stuff is gonna be terrible to her. So
Right.
exactly,
Yeah, well,
you
dude,
know,
you're brilliant. Not only are you a good fighter and you give good picks, but
life
great
advice.
relationship advice right there, boys. You guys out there that are men and you're in a relationship and the girl doesn't live with you yet, but it's getting to that point where it's about to happen. Don't buy any new shit.
There you go.
Just
There you
fucking
go.
leave it be because she's gonna come throw your shit out. I'm married. My wife does it. I've actually been fortunate that I've been able to keep a lot of my stuff here. And because she moved into my place, when we got married. So and we haven't, we're getting ready to do a move. So I know when we move, my world is going to change. The only thing I know I'm going to get is my studio. After that, it's whatever she does, and I have to just accept it. So, you know, maybe we should do a relationship show, Sasha. I don't know. Man. Help me out, 'cause life is
On
really simple.
I mean, we'll probably get more viewers that way.
We'll probably get more. No doubt about it. Um, All right, so we all got Santos. Lightweights coming up next. Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober. Minus 375 for Makhachev versus Dober, who's coming in at plus 285. I actually think the numbers here are wrong. I think the numbers should be a little bit higher more of a favorite for Makhachev. I just think, and I like Drew Dober, but he's going to get crushed tomorrow night or on Saturday night. Makhachev's going to come out there and just own the fight top to bottom for however long it goes, and I don't expect it to go long. Forrest is saying Makhachev by a decision, but I don't think it's going to go to a decision, Forrest. I think he's going to finish this fight before the second round is over. So that's where I'm at. So what about you, Sash?
Yeah, I'm saying Islam probably by decision, or it depends how tough Drew is. Drew Dober. I mean, I like Drew Dober a lot. I thought he's been coming on really good, and he gets really good work out in Colorado. So if he can keep it standing, I think he's the better striker personally. I've seen Islam hit. I've seen Islam hitting pads, and I'm not talking shit or anything of that nature. I know he's a predominant grappler, but I wasn't impressed with his striking. I think he's technically sound, but because he's a wrestler, it's not his first natural thing, just like Khabib, just like a lot of these guys. And there's just something missing. I don't know, maybe because I'm a striker, there's just maybe the impact I don't see it, or the amount of power that he's able to turn. But Drew Dober has some serious power. He's a long-term striker. He's been striking for a long time. He's been fighting some of the best. He has. I mean, when you were saying that the numbers are wrong, I thought you were going to say they should be closer. Because I mean, Drew Dober, his last. I mean, I can't say it because I'm not looking. My laptop went off. But I think his run that he's recently made and the results that he's done, I think people have not really been.
Last few fights, he beat Alexander Hernandez in round 2 with strikes. He beat Nasrat Hapcroft with a win, counter across the ground and pound. He beat Pollo Reyes with the left cross. And then previous to that, he lost to Darush. So we'll do his last 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he beat John Tuck by decision. He definitely has power. I'm not negating the power, but again, Makhachev is one of those. He's going to come out and maul on you. I'm not saying that he's got the bigger striker. So when I say he's going to, crush him, I don't necessarily mean. I should probably clarify that. I don't necessarily mean he's going to come out there and outstrike Drew Dober, because I think if he tried to stand with Dober for the entire fight, I think it would be a bad move for him. So he's going to use his groundwork, and he's that mauling type of guy. He's going to get on. He's going to crush you, and he's going to control the fight. He can finish on the ground with strikes. There's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. But we'll see, because Dober, definitely not Dober's first rodeo, and he's been able to get in fights and fight off his back and fight his way back up to his feet and turn those fights around. So it's not a walk in the park, but I still think the numbers are a little off. I think Makhachev should actually be a little bit of a bigger favorite. I'm not mad, because again, I don't bet, but based on what I've seen over the recent fights with these guys, even though Dober's coming off wins, and finishes. I just my gut, my feeling watching what I got. I'm, like I said, I'm wrong most of the time, so I don't give a shit. But in all seriousness, I think Makhachev actually should have come in a little bit higher favorite. We'll see. the kid is what, like fucking, I think he's like 20-1 or something like that. Let me pull up his record. I've got he's 18-1. And in the UFC, he's 4, 5, 6, yeah, it's funny too. I didn't even notice, but I'm looking now. They were supposed to fight in 2016. Him and Dober were supposed to go at it, and it was canceled. I don't even know why, but it's showing. That's why I like Tapology. It shows you the canceled list. But yeah, I mean, he's been in the UFC now since 2015, and he has one loss in the UFC, and that's to Adriano Martins. He got punched, at UFC 192. But every other fight he's had, he's won. So we'll see. This one's going to be interesting to watch. I'm still taking Makhachev to win big. Finish.
I'll go Makhachev decision. I'll go with Forrest
All right.
on this one.
And you know what? Drew Dober's probably going to win, make us all look stupid. So, including you, Forrest. Bantamweight championship, Jan versus Sterling. The numbers are dead even, -115 on both sides. I'll let you lead us on this one. This is the first title fight of the night. This is a big deal fight. Tell us about it.
Jan, that's it. He's winning for sure.
Wow.
And he's gonna make it look easy.
Okay.
That's what my prediction is.
All right. My prediction is the exact opposite. Sterling will finish the fight in the second round, and he's going to fucking submit Jan. That's it.
That's such a popular American prediction. Everyone thinks that that Sterling is going to submit Jan. It's crazy to me, but it'll be interesting if it was to happen.
Listen, Jan is no doubt a champion by all rights. The guy is somebody that you have to take seriously, but I think that a lot of people are still sleeping on Aljamain Sterling. I think even the UFC was, kind of hesitant to put this fight together in the first place. I don't know if it's because they don't believe in him, or maybe they want to push Jan. I don't know. I do know that Aljamain Sterling is an absolute fucking beast, and I just, like I said, he's been here, he's done that, and he's that good, and he can win the fight any fucking where it goes. He can win it on the ground, he can win it on the feet, he can submit you from the top, he can submit you from his back. He's got all the skills, he's got all the tools, and like I said, he's taking on Jan. It's such a crazy fight. I don't want to discount the champion, but at the end of the day, I just think Sterling it's his time. I think he's the guy right now that I always felt that if he ever got to this opportunity, that he was going to destroy whoever it was in front of him, whether it had been Jan or Cruz or Garbrandt or Dillashaw. I felt once Sterling got to that title fight, it was almost like Usman. When Usman finally arrived as a title contender, and he got there, he cemented his spot really well. And I feel the same way about Sterling. So that's what I feel is going to happen. I feel he's going to submit Jan, and then he's going to go on a nice run as a champion. I'm going to guess at least 4 defenses. I'm going deep dive on this one.
Yeah, big time.
Sterling says he's going, Forrest says Sterling. Forrest says he's going with Sterling by the 4th round. He's calling submission as well, because he said Sterling is hungry as fuck. And I don't think it has anything to do with being American, bro. I'm a little insulted, man.
Nah, it's an American thing, dog. Trust me, I know Peter. I've trained in the same camp with him. I know. Trust me, it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm willing to put that.
I'm glad that you're confident in your dude. It's like me going my dude Elon. I just know, I just feel it. So I can't even argue with you about it.
No, there's nothing to argue. That's the beauty of it. We'll just watch it and see.
And the best thing about it is, like and Forrest just said, like I said, Jan is no joke. I mean, I'm not saying Sterling or myself is taking him lightly, because he can easily go out there and make me look stupid and fucking make Sterling look stupid just like that. because he's that damn good. That's why he's a champion. I mean, he's that damn good. But Sterling is that damn good. Now, here's the thing with a fight like this. Both of these guys are really right there. These fights either turn into fucking epic, wars, or one-sided affair for one guy, or the dreaded Ngannou versus fucking Black Beast fight where they respect each other so much and they fear each other's biggest asset. In that fight, it was power. Neither guy wanted to get knocked out by the other motherfucker, hence the most boring heavyweight fight we ever saw. We won't see that fear of power from these two guys. They're not afraid to, throw hands. And they're not afraid to, possibly catch one on the cross coming back in. I mean, that's what they do. But there's always that side where they do respect each other enough where we get a dance for 5 rounds, which would suck for everybody involved. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think these guys are ready to just go to war and go at it. They were jaw-jacking at the press conference today, man. I couldn't quite hear it. I was watching. I was like, man, but you could see that they're in the moment right now, man. This is they are in that moment. But out of all the face-offs I saw today, that was the one that gave me goosebumps. Everybody's all hyped up on Israel and Jan, because of the champ fight and all that stuff. But this fight right here has got my juices flowing, man. This fight is going to be fucking fun to watch. Whoever wins, Females coming up. Megan Anderson taking on Amanda Nunes, the champ coming in at minus 1,000. Obviously, she's the biggest favorite on the card. Anderson coming in at plus 600. I don't see anywhere in this fight that Megan Anderson can beat her. I just don't. I think she's just getting the fight because that's the only other featherweight left. And I think when this fight is over, I honestly think when this fight is over, I think the UFC might shut down the featherweight division. There's nobody there. There really isn't. There's 1 or 2 girls and Amanda. So I don't see the need for this division right now because there aren't girls out there to populate it with. And all these girls can make 135. Amanda's the champ there, so this could quite possibly be the final time we see Nunes. And she's going to go out with another win. She really accomplished everything. She's proven that she's the GOAT at female right now, and she's beaten everybody. There's nothing left. And I think she's going to go out and finish this one too. I don't see it going the distance. I won't pick around on this one though. But if it gets past the third,
you think it's going to go the distance?
No, I don't think it's going to go past the third. I can go to the third. I'll be shocked. But I probably somewhere in the second round. And Amanda could finish it in the first round. I mean, that's what she's proven. She's that damn good, and she's beating everybody for a reason. Do you see anywhere that Megan Anderson could win this fight?
No. Don't see it.
I mean, she got dominated by Holly Holm, and Holly Holm got smoked by, Amanda. So if you want to use MMA math, that just says fucking, Megan Anderson really doesn't belong here. But she's a big, tall girl, and, the UFC tried to push her, and she hasn't lived up to what they wanted her to be. Sometimes people don't live up to the hype that is placed on them. It's not their fault, but expectations are created because the promotion pushes you a certain way, and then you don't deliver. Is that your fault, or is it promotion's fault for putting too much on you too soon? I think with Megan Anderson, they hyped her up too soon before we could really see the product that they were trying to deliver. So now when she loses, it's such a letdown for people that follow her. It's like
for sure
they should. But they needed to fill bodies at 145, and that's why she got a push. But she's a good fighter. She's not a great fighter, so she's gonna get smoked. Forrest, what do you got? He said Nunes should get this TKO in round 2. She's so dominant everywhere, especially on the ground. Ding, ding, ding. All right, and finally, the main event of the evening: light heavyweight championship of the world. Champion Jan Blachowicz taking on at Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion, who comes in as a favorite in this fight at minus 235, again plus 185 for Jan. I've never, ever, ever picked Israel Adesanya to win a fight.
Really?
Yep, I've never picked him to win. For some reason, my gut always says, nope, he's not going to win this one. Nope, he's not going to win this one. And he keeps winning. And you know, I watch him fight with my own two eyes. The guy is uber talented, crafty, slick, powerful, deceptive, defensive, offensive. He's a champion for a reason. You know, he's so fucking good. But for some reason, I can't seem to fucking, and you know, it's not even I don't like the guy. Like when Conor McGregor started, you know, yapping and all that stuff, there was like just a bad taste in my mouth with Conor McGregor for some reason. But I learned to shut it out with him. So my not picking Adesanya ever, I don't know where it comes from because, you know, when he talks shit, I like it, dude. It's funny. It cracks me up, you know. Um, but I don't know. I'm just, you know, this is a tough one to pick, you know, because the Polish power, you know, is no joke. The guy is strong as fuck. You know, he's on a streak right now of 8-1. He is the light heavyweight champion. You know, people thought he was going to get dusted by Dominic Reyes. I didn't. I picked him to win that fight as well. I just think, you know, with everybody, you know, jumping on Israel's bandwagon, I think, yeah, I want to go out there and prove to the world that, hey, just because you say you can come up to my division and smoke me doesn't mean it's true. I think, you know, Izzy is very deceptive. I think Izzy knows how to, you know, avoid getting struck. You know, he knows how to stay off the center line. But, you know, Jan is a different guy. You know, and everybody said that everybody fights, oh, this guy's a different guy, a different challenge. Well, they are. Every guy's a different challenge. But again, you know, with the way that Jan's been fighting recently, it's hard for me to pick against him in this one. And I don't think I can. I don't think I can pick against the champ in this one to retain his belt. Forrest says he's going with Jan by third round TKO. He goes because the cage is smaller and Adesanya can't run as easily. He'll eventually get caught by the Polish power. And I think that really is a 100% accurate assessment, and that's why Forrest gets fight right.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I was gonna. He said he took it from my mind because I fought in the same cage, and it's a small cage. It's not in Abu Dhabi. It's a much bigger cage where he just fought against Paulo Costa. Yeah, I mean, interesting. It's always interesting. I feel like obviously Israel is the better striker. He's sharper. He's smarter. He knows how to kind of trap. I watched recently Blachowicz and Santos. And, you know, Blachowicz has a tendency to rush straight lines forward, just kind of, you know, I would say lower level striking, which if I'm sure Israel is aware of already, will have a pretty good read on if something was to come. But again, it is a smaller cage. And I've also thought, hey, maybe Jan being bigger, being physically stronger, he's good on the ground. I feel like nobody has talked about that at all.
Nobody respects that. You know, it's like,
yeah, I mean, I know for a fact personally, I have friends, a lot of guys that I know that train and do their camps in Poland, and they have some of the best grappling in the world. So if Jan is able to hold him up against the cage or get a leg and take him down, don't get me wrong, Izzy is very hard to take down, very, very hard to take down. But if he does take him down, I think it's going to be a really tough night with Jan Blachowicz on top of you. And if that does happen, I think we could see a submission or a finish just on that alone. So yeah, I'm gonna go with TKO by Jan Blachowicz. That's I think don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if Izzy is able to
get the win,
get the decision. You know, just pick and move, just 5 rounds. That wouldn't surprise me either. Maybe people will even say it's boring, kind of like the Yoel Romero fight. Yeah, you know, there's a very good possibility that happens. I mean, Izzy's a counter fighter. So if guys are not throwing, then nothing's going to happen. So, but I feel like Jan will eventually go. And like he did against Reyes, when he started to open up and land, he'd throw 3 or 4 punches, one would get through, and that was enough to kind of make Reyes okay. And then bam, bam, and he's done, you know. And I think the same thing is Israel's been KO'd in his career. He's been KO'd in kickboxing. And if Jan puts hands on your chin, it seems like people go to sleep. So I'm hoping that is the outcome. I want to see Jan win this fight. And yeah, we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, and I don't want to discount what Israel Adesanya, because if he wins, I'm not going to be shocked. He's proven me wrong every time he's walked into the cage. Um, and I don't know why I can't pick the guy, but I always feel like, all right, well, this is going to be the guy, you know. So, I've been wrong every time. I might be wrong this time, but this one feels different because I got backup from two people now. I got backup saying, all right, he's the only crazy motherfucker on the planet Earth.
No,
So,
a lot of people are picking Blachowicz. They like the line. They like that he's the underdog. And it should be exciting. I'm super excited for the card on Saturday.
it's funny. I was looking at the rankings the other day. You know who's ranked number one at light heavyweight? John Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, still ranked number one at light heavyweight. He hasn't fought at heavyweight yet, and I mean,
True.
he forfeited the belt. He gave it away. So it's kind of funny to see the guy that's not in the division anymore, hasn't fought, a little bit, still the number one guy in the division, over the champion.
For sure.
I think if Jones came back to light heavyweight, I think he'd beat Jan. So I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
even going to
I
debate
think
that
so.
right there.
I think
No
so
disrespect
too.
to Jan, but Jones is that guy.
Mhm.
So 15 fights, dude. It's a big fight card, man. Hopefully all 15 fights will stick tomorrow at the weigh-ins.
I hope so. So far, it looks good. So let's hope.
Yeah, hold on. I'm knocking on a lot of wood right here.
Yeah.
So we got your fight coming up April 10th. Guys, Sasha is taking on Impa Kasanganay. April 10th, a welterweight fight, the first for Kasanganay, which is going to be a big factor in this fight, depending on how his weight cut goes, because he's always fought at middleweight. So we're going to see, because that's going to be a determining factor. They're both top level athletes. Sasha is definitely coming out to strike and throw punches. And he even says himself, if there's any ground coming, it's going to be because Impa's going to try to, implement a takedown and, try to work up against the cage. I'm excited for the fight, because I think stylistically it's going to be entertaining to see who can impose their will on the other guy. Again, I picked nobody in this fight. Just both of you walk out that night, under your own power, and go joke about your fight in the locker room, and I'll be good. Whoever wins, wins. Whoever loses, man, I'll feel bad for. Whoever wins, I'm going to feel good for. Natural. But, it sucks that sometimes these fights come along with people that I like, fuck, man, why they got to mention these guys up? Can't they do the, and the randomness of you two getting booked at a welterweight fight, because, you've been there at a welterweight. I didn't even realize he was coming down, and then all of a sudden, boom, they just booked. I was like,
Yeah, I
why
was
didn't I
surprised
do
too.
that?
When my manager contacted me, I was like, "Oh, isn't it a middleweight?" And they're like, "Oh, he's coming down to 170." I was like, "I'll happily welcome him. That's cool."
Well, come on, bring him. And like you said, his name is probably a little more known than yours. So, fighting a guy with a little more shine never hurts,
For
Um,
sure.
I mean, I also think you're one of those smart guys. When I say this, please don't take this with any disrespect, because I don't want it to come across that way. Kamaru Usman is the champion. Um, and I'm sure you believe in your heart and your mind that you could beat anybody you fight, because if you don't think that way, you're never going to win a fight. You got to have that confidence. Um, I think if the opportunity came, you would take it. But there's also a little piece of me that says you might say, you know what, let me get it a little more under my belt. And I don't know, because I'm not in your head. But I feel like you're that intelligent enough to go, you know what, man, I'm not 100% ready. If I'm not 100% ready, I don't want to take a fight versus anybody, not just Usman. I'm just saying Usman because he's a champ. Am I right to say that about you, that you want to make sure if you're taking a fight, if you're putting your name on that paper, that you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I've the losses on my career are off of two silly mistakes that I made in hindsight. I mean, it's always like that when you make a mistake, you say you wish you did differently. But my professional debut in Miami, Florida, I fought a guy who came in 22 pounds overweight for the weigh-in, and I took the fight because I just was like, man, his weakness, he can't make the weight. So and that fight was an interesting fight. And, I go back, I dropped him in the first round, and, my cardio wasn't as good as it could have been. And, it was just one of those fights when he got on top of me, I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't play around. This guy's 20 pounds heavier than me. And then my second loss, I was sitting on a couch with a torn meniscus and torn groin. And I got a phone call to go fight in Abu Dhabi on 5 days notice. So I wasn't in camp. I wasn't training. So I said, let's do it. So that's another thing. I wasn't 100%. I wasn't even close to 100%. I'd already booked a surgery before I took the fight. but I thought, but I thought to myself, I thought to myself, if this is an opportunity that presents itself and it comes, then I should take it. And at that moment in the time, my brain, everything was like, I'm ready. I can do this. This is a cakewalk. I watched the film on my opponent, Munir Lazez, who's a UFC guy, and I thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and my body was not ready. My mind was ready, but my body wasn't there, and I knew that. And again, it was a weird fight. The referee stopped it, in my opinion, early. I didn't feel like he finished me. It was one of those, and I would like to run that back in the future. But these are the lessons you learn throughout your career, and going through the mistakes. And I'm glad that I'm finding out back then than I will now, because at this point where I am now, I feel my record doesn't necessarily show how much I feel that my experience really is. And there are guys that have 20 fights, and maybe even in the UFC, but I still feel like they still are a couple leagues behind me. And
Sure.
I went years and years without people wanting to take fights against me, and not that I deserve that, but that's just what happened. And I feel like, fortunately and unfortunately, I didn't have that ball rolling coming into the UFC. But now that I'm here in the UFC, I think it's even better that I can get the ball rolling where it matters most, and fighting against the best in the world, and challenging myself, multiple times a year, and that's the goal, and every fight. And what I love about the UFC, they didn't throw me to the wolves straight away, which they could have done.
Sure.
They put me in against a Contender Series guy. I did what I did. Then they put me against a Contender Series alum who's had a couple fights in the UFC, who has a name in the UFC. So if I go and I get the result that I expect to get against Sanganai, then I'm looking at fighting someone that has over 10 wins, someone that has over 15 fights, someone that maybe is a name that's been a contender at the welterweight division. So these are the kind of steps that I see, and I kind of understand that the UFC are also guiding me. So I appreciate that, and I'm in no rush. As long as I'm healthy and as long as they're booking me fights, I'm happy, and I know where I'm going to go. So if Usman is the champ, that's who I'm going to fight. Whoever's the champ at that time, I will fight. So when the time comes, it'll just be a matter of who has the belt, and it'll be a matter of just what time it is. So the next 4 or 5 years are going to be very, very important years in my life, in my career. So I'm very happy with where I am at this moment, and I'm very excited for where I will be in that future. So it's just something that when your plan goes to work and it comes to fruition, you can only just sit back and just say, I made the fucking right choice for once, and it seems to be working out. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, keep working the way I've been working. It's been a 10-year project, so if you don't need to fix what's broken, so just keep working, keep going, and I'll just ride it until the wheels fall off, and until my body quits on me, or I can't do or I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna keep doing it because I love it. Like, this is literally what I love to do. So there's no better feeling than to enjoy myself day in and day out, even if it is involving getting punched and kicked and all kinds of damage done to me. But at the same time, it's what I enjoy doing, and if it entertains my fans and it entertains everybody, then that's just a bonus. So
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I think your future is really bright inside the UFC. I think there's going to be a lot of people you'll surprise along the way, because you didn't come in as one of the most highly touted prospects. Like, some guys come in and they already got shine with them. You got here because you earned your spot here. And I think as you continue to fight, I think you're going to open eyes up, and I think you're going to go grow a huge fan base because of your fighting ability, your personality. Like I said, you're not hard on the eyes, man. You got the package, bro. You got it all going on, fucking, and you'll probably even endear the woman fan base a little bit, because, here you are with the ladies, you got your girl across the sea, and, you're a loyal dude, and they'll probably go, oh, that poor man, his heart breaks every day. But, dude, listen, I know it sounds silly, but those are the things that capture a fan base, because they have a personal knowledge of you. And because of the world we live in today and the access that so many UFC fighters and MMA fighters in general understand the relationship with their fan base probably better than any other sport. And you guys are definitely the most interactive with the fans. Sometimes it turns into stupid shit like what happened with Curtis Blades and, that crap where, somebody FaceTimes him and tells him he sucks. And then it's telling, I mean, there's a line that should not be crossed.
For sure.
But, fans are going to make their comments, everybody's a critic. You can answer them or respond or you don't have to. But even if you don't respond to the shithead guys, most MMA people respond to their fans and followers in a positive way, the ones that support them. And the fans get really attached to these guys, to you guys, because they have access. Forrest there bullshitting with me. We talk all the time on Facebook, and I have guys like you that are in the UFC all the time. And you're like, what's Forrest pick? He loves that shit, dude. He's such a big fan of the sport. He supports so many fighters. And while he's not directly on with you right now, you're directly commenting to him. And because you guys do that, that makes you guys, as far as to the fans, the best athletes, because they get to see you and they get to hear you. Moments like this, they get to chat with you, and fucking, you're not so full of yourself that you forgot that, people are watching this and supporting you, whereas like these football guys or baseball guys, I make $35 million a year. I don't got to talk to that fucking idiot over there with my fucking jersey on. If you were walking through the store and you saw a dude with your fucking Sasha fucking Palatnikov UFC jacket on, you're the kind of guy walk up and go, hey, man, that's me on your jacket. Let me sign that for you, because you understand,
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. The fans appreciate it. By the way, Forrest, we're going to make these shirts for him. It's called Forrest Knows.
Yeah, man. Got to. Well, we'll
Forrest
see.
Knows.
Let's see how the outcome of this weekend is, and then we'll come back. And if things are as good as we want them to be, then those shirts will be buzzing for sure.
Yep. Well, Forrest posts his picks up publicly, so he doesn't get shy. He posts them on a bunch of different MMA groups. So we'll see, Forrest. We're gonna see how good you do. Hey, let's see, Forrest. Let's do this, and this is gonna involve you. I do a fight pick for pay-per-views only, where I give away a T-shirt or a hat, something. So let's do this one, and this will be exclusively for Forrest Daniels on my fight pick game. Forrest, there are 15 fights. Sasha, how many fights does he have to pick right out of the 15 for you to send him like an autographed Sasha Palatnikov something?
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Out of the 15.
How many does he have to get right for you to send him an autographed piece of gear?
Ooh, should I be nice or not? I don't know.
Hey, Forrest has a good winning percentage, dude. Don't go, oh, you only got to win 7. Make
12.
him fucking earn it, bro.
12.
Forrest, you have to get 12 fights right this weekend. If you get 12 fights right, Sasha will send you a piece of autographed gear, hat, T-shirt, something. So no pressure tomorrow, Forrest. He's probably already made his picks, though. He's probably already got his picks locked in. I mean, some of them he shared with us. He's probably already got his picks locked in. He probably had these picks locked in like 3 weeks ago. Because I think other than watching movies, I think Forrest is like, deal. He's like, deal. Forrest. Oh, and by the way, Forrest picks you to win that fight. He said, where is it? There, Sasha by second round KO.
Appreciate it. It's a good
He's calling that fight. So, like I said, he picks right a lot. So, Forrest, you got to get 12 fights right this week. And if you do, Sasha will send you some gear. I'll make sure it happens. That's it with Forrest. That's it with Sasha. Sasha, thank you so much for taking the time tonight, man. Nice couple hours with you, man. I could chat with you all day about fights or about life in general, or relationships. Guys, relationships, hit me or Sasha up at the Love Doctors. No, I think somebody already has that. We'll come up with a better one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sasha's going to be fighting, like you said, Impa Kasangane, April 10th at the Apex. Although this fight could take place.
Texas. I'm excited. I hope it does. I've never been to Texas. Imagine we get fight in front of a crowd. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
I'd have people come in probably. I'd be able to have some people come in for that if it's out of the crowd. I got people always asking if your fight is it with the crowd, and I said not yet, not in Vegas at least. But I heard that today. That would be very interesting.
As soon as they said it, he was on the phone with the governor going, "I want to fight in Texas. It won't be in Dallas,
no, but they're looking at Houston. Yeah, Houston.
And as soon as he gets the approval, he's moving the show on the road. Mississippi is also open at full 100% now. Florida has been open pretty much for the most part.
Since
and now
September.
We've been open forever. I mean,
Yeah.
you just don't have full capacity at sporting events. But I believe now that these other states are starting to, I think Governor DeSantis, who's really been the spearhead of opening a business, opening
Yes.
your state back up,
Mhm.
he will open up, we'll be able to have fans in full attendance, which is going to be awesome. Baseball season starting.
Mhm.
Florida's a baseball economy is for, spring training just started. So, I mean, it affects every state has a reason why they need to be open,
Mhm.
so just let us open up, man. I think we
Absolutely.
know enough about this now that, it's going to be around, if you get it, once you get it, you're kind of out of the woods unless,
Mhm.
the next zombie strain comes and takes you out. I mean, but for right now, I've been tested
Just
30 times, you know, I had it, April or May of last year. I had the chills for 3 hours. That was it. I just found out today my barber's got COVID, so it means my mop is going to get thicker because I don't trust anybody else to cut my hair. So it'll be interesting. I haven't had this is like the most grown out my hair's been in like years, man. I feel like a fucking hippie. I'm not even gonna lie. And I used to have hair down to my fucking stomach, down to my waist, man. But it's been so
Wow.
long, it's like I feel scruffy. But so anyway, so Sasha's fighting April 10th against Impa. It could be in Vegas. It could be in Texas. Um, we will soon find out. But I think they'll
Mhm.
actually get an event off before April 10th in Texas. If they can pull it off.
We should, we should know in the next few weeks, right? If they're there, then it should most likely will stay there, right?
Well, we'll probably know in the next few days if Dana
Mhm.
gets his event because he can't really dilly dally. He's going to need time to get everything, logistically down there. Although they did move an event from Vegas to
Three
LA,
days. Yep.
in like 3 days. So they could probably do it. It probably wouldn't be as tough as we think it is. But I'm just going to make sure that I would say the earliest we'd see a fight down there is probably the last week of March.
Yeah.
Which could happen, and that'd be great, man, for the fans, for you guys out there to hear the roar of the crowd again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also it'd be great for Venom because they're releasing the apparel in April. So I don't know if I'm the first or second card in April, but I think that'd be pretty cool to.
You'll be wearing the Venom gear.
Yeah, yeah.
That means your Reebok gear is now going to be a collector's item. So if you guys
True.
want to start bidding on the eBay page for Sasha's original UFC gear, let
I
me
mean,
know.
I
Bid
got,
started.
I got some memorabilia, lined up, but keep it for a little bit. Got to age it a little bit better. And then, yeah, and fighting in the new Venom stuff will be cool, and if it's in front of a crowd, it'd be even better. So, let's hope maybe we'll get a little bit lucky. Uncle Dana bringing it early. So once he starts doing it, then everyone else is going to jump on it. So
Absolutely.
because
Well,
ticket
everybody else
sales.
is doing it though. I mean, regional shows have been having like in Florida and Mississippi. Regional shows have been bringing fans in,
Hmm.
not at full capacity. I mean, bare knuckle fighting came down here and did shows.
Hmm.
In Florida, again, we haven't had 100% attendance, but we've been able to get a lot of people in all these buildings to get to see fights. I think the UFC just felt it wasn't worth it for their product to have 2,000 fans in the building. I
Yeah.
understand the logistics and doing that show. I mean, they did it in Jacksonville at the beginning of the pandemic just to show people, but they didn't have fans.
Hmm.
But they did 3 events there. Fight week was cool. I was up there, watching everything, talking to fighters, interviewing guys right on the pier, on the beach. It was nice. So Florida's been open for business pretty much from jump.
Hmm.
But the fans started coming in, right after the UFC did their shows here. Then regional shows started immediately booking events and allowing X amount of fans in, and it was good, because we really needed that, and we need more of it. We need more of the fans to get back, get some normalcy in their life, man. And again, for you guys, I know some guys have said they don't mind fighting with no fans, but I know there's other people that want to feel the crowd, want to feel the
I want
rush
to
of
know what
energy.
it's like. Yeah.
That's right.
Fighting
You
with.
haven't fought for UFC fans yet.
No, I haven't fought in front of a crowd since 2019.
Jesus, Christmas.
Yeah, I fought.
Long
Like my
time.
my last three fights have been no crowd. So I hope it doesn't become a normalcy. But no, I like the energy of people. I like people watching. I feed off that. If anything,
Yeah.
the quiet environment is kind of like weird to me. But no, whatever. I can't hear the corner. I can't hear the crowd. I'm in the element of fighting. So it is what it is. But I would prefer to get a spectacular result and then just hear the atmosphere. That'd be amazing.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course.
Listen,
So.
man, I get it. I would want to hear the crowd. I mean, I've probably done ring announcing now since last year when it was All Star. I've probably done like 11 shows
Mm-hmm.
you know, in this last year, maybe 12, maybe 13, something like that. And all of them had fans on them except for one, and that was for ex-MMA down here in West Palm Beach at the end of January. And that was really weird for me as the announcer because every other show I still had people there, not as many, but still people that would, ladies and gentlemen, they're jumping off my every word. Whereas this one, it was nothing. I mean, the few teams that had a couple of their coaches there, sitting in the crowd, but we didn't really have a crowd, so it was like really weird. I prefer the crowd. It helps me. It makes me want to, just pop hard and deliver and, put the name out there. So I get it, dude. Fucking the crowd, we all feed off the crowd, man. We're all, we're all divas. We all want a little limelight. Who we bullshit, man. Let's just be real. So, but listen, man, thank you so much for taking the time tonight, man. We did a couple hours here, man. I'm glad. We'll definitely do this again. Probably not before your fight. I don't want to bother you now that you're going to start getting deeper into your fight camp. So, you go enjoy that. And we'll talk after.
For sure.
But wish you the best of luck, man.
Appreciate
in that fight. Hopefully you get your girl over here soon. Hopefully you get to fight in Texas in front of a crowd, make your UFC crowd debut. That'll be awesome. And hopefully you get to have some people come over to watch, some of your family and shit.
Sure.
And I think once you get them here, it's a lot easier to keep them here.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. So,
True.
you might have to speed up the marriage a little bit to your girl, but whatever, shit happens.
No, we're trying. Once she's here, then we have to get married in 90 days. 90-day fiance. We're in that element.
Dude, we should videotape every day of that 90 days, man, and make a fucking little reality show about it.
You're gonna see me on AMC or whatever, AMC, TLC, whatever the channel is that they show that stuff.
Yeah,
stuff.
TLC, women's oxygen.
Yeah,
it's all crazy, but it'll be there, dude. It'll be a good story, dude. Again, so. But you go tonight, man. I know it's 7:30 out where you're at. Yeah, so you're you got
dinner time.
Yeah, man. So you go relax, enjoy Call of Duty sometime. Maybe I'll get on. I might have to start doing this, man, and playing video games just so I can fucking bullshit with some of you guys and talk shit to you while I'm beating you and blowing your.
Even if you suck, just get with like 3 guys, on a team of 4, and even if you're the worst, they can carry you, and you just talk shit and entertain everyone,
Yeah, I'll just talk shit to the other guys who are fighting against, and fucking they can do all the fucking heavy lifting. I like that idea. So even in the virtual world, I don't have to get dirty. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. My guest, Sasha Palatnikov of the UFC, again, who we take on Impa Kasanganay, April 10th, possibly in Texas. Definitely in Vegas, but quite possibly in Texas. I hope they get the show in Texas for him because it'll be good for him and everybody in the octagon. Any parting words you want to shout out?
If you guys want to check me out on social media, Sasha Palatnikov MMA on Instagram, Sasha Palatnikov Facebook, Palatnikov MMA on Twitter. Reach out to me, say what's up. Don't be shy. Like we were talking before, we like to interact. I like to interact with my fans. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And just keep an eye out on Chris's show and just keep an eye out on all the news that's coming out and just tune in on April 10 for a good show, and hopefully we'll get some more action lined up for the rest of the year and keep following what's going on. There's lots of exciting things coming up, and I'm excited to come back on the show after the fight. So,
yeah. What's your gamer tag, by the way?
Black belt dabs.
Black belt what?
Dabs. DABS.
Oh, I like it, bro. Black belt dabs. For you guys who want to game up with them out there, are you on a Xbox or are you on a PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 4. I'm waiting to get it. Hey, if anybody got a hookup for a PS5, I'm happy to buy one because I just can't get one.
That's what I'm hearing. My brother's still trying to get one for my nephew for Christmas, and it's March. So, if anybody has to hook up on a PS5, let me know. I'll put you in contact with Sasha. You can hook him up. He'll pay for it, obviously. You might
or you want to give me it for free? That's fine too.
If you want to give him one, man, he'll fucking pimp your shit, bro. Fighters take charity. Ain't no shame in that. So. Well, listen, man, we'll let you jump out. You enjoy your night. Thanks for the preview show, man. Good luck to you in your fight, man. And good luck to you. Just good people. I always like
take care. All right.
Be well, bro.
Take care. Thank you.
Boys and girls, that was Sasha Palatnikov. He is awesome. What a good dude, man. Might be one of my favorite preview shows I've done with other people. So thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. We will be back on Tuesday with Tyler Diamond joining us ahead of his PFL debut. Also chasing interviews with Sabah Masi, who's going to be fighting Paul Daly, I believe, at Bellator, coming up here shortly. A few other guys we're chasing down, so we'll let you know when those interviews get confirmed. Thanks again for taking the time and allowing me to be a part of your lives today, and you guys being a part of mine, even just for a brief minute. I can never truly put into words what that really means to me, but just know that it's right here, boys and girls. Love you guys. Thanks for the support, as always. Forrest, don't forget, win 12 fights. You'll get some Sasha gear autograph sent to you because, hey, that's what he do, right? So with that being said, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again. This has been Cage Side with Christopher James. You've been Cage Side, and I am out of here. Good night, everybody.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Go with the deuces. There you go, baby.